Hare Krishna. So, everyone, welcome for the Saturday evening program. Today, we are going to discuss about the third chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Very, very important instructions of Krishna. In two verses, Lord Krishna is giving us an advice. How can we be successful in our life, in living in this world, while doing our work? What is actually lacking today? So Lord Krishna is clarifying and he is sensitizing all of us. Before coming to that, we need to recap what we discussed last time. We continued about the rungs of ladder. After that, Lord Krishna started speaking about the most successful person in who is following the karma yoga. He started giving the examples of Janaka Maharaj. Even though he was successful as a king, yet he did his worldly duties without stopping it, and he continued to perform his devotion service. Hence, Lord Krishna is saying, if you are in a responsible position, it is not just following your worldly duties that is important, but at the same time, whatever you follow, whatever the principle you adopt in your life to become successful, that are the common man is going to follow. So, whatever the actions a great man performs, common man follows. Hence, if you are in a responsible position, ensure you follow the universal principles. You act, you set an example, and all world will pursue. So that is the first instruction of Krishna, and Lord Krishna himself says in the 21st verse that there is absolutely no duty in this world that I am bound to, but still I continue to perform my prescribed duty. And we discussed very, very elaborately how Lord Krishna from the age of 5 took care of thousands and thousands of cows that Nanda Maharaj his father was managing. So he didn't say that I'm actually the control of the entire world. Why do I need to take care of the cows? He didn't complain, but he took those jobs. He was born in a Kshatriya family but exported to a Vaishya family, and he grew up in the house of Nanda and Yashoda. Doesn't matter whichever the ecosystem, he didn't complain for it, and he started taking care of the Vaishya occupation, taking care of the cows. That is very, very important. And he made this cow protection work itself so glorious. He knew 900,000 cows, each and every cow by its name. That's why Lord Krishna is saying, there is no work prescribed for me yet. I am engaged in the prescribed duties. And Lord Krishna says, if I had failed in performing my prescribed duties, the entire world would have followed it, and I would be the cause of ruination for the entire world. I would have ruined this entire world. So hence it's very, very important for me that I follow my prescribed duties. Hence he is advising each one of us that we should not be attached to our results, but act for the sake of leading people in the right path. Then he says, an intelligent person who understands the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita doesn't abruptly stop people from not doing their work, but connecting whatever the work they are doing to Krishna, to me. And he says, whatever the work you are doing, you are only a doer. You are not the doer. The nature does it for you. All the gift that you have got through the material body, the senses and everything is the gift of nature. Recognize it and give up the false ego. And Lord Krishna then says, a person in knowledge does not take part in work that that leads to sense gratification. We need to discriminate what kind of work we do. We need to understand. We need to give up sense gratifying mentality. Then Lord Krishna says, a person in knowledge may see an ignorant person doing wrong work. Instead of condemning it, he should actually dovetail the work in such a way that he can engage in the service of the Lord. So these are the instructions Lord Krishna gave in the previous discussion. So we are going to move into the next today's discussion. Mai sarvani karmani sanyasyatma chetasa nirasha nirmamo bhutva yuddhasva vigatachvaraha. Therefore, Arjuna, surrendering all your works unto me with full knowledge of me, without desires for profit, no claims to proprietorship, and free from lethargy, fight. So we discussed last time also, we went through briefly, a cashier working in the bank, he might be counting millions of dollars today, every day. That doesn't mean that millions of dollars belongs to him. Nirasha, he needs to give up that attachment. He needs to understand he is only taking care of his responsibility. What the transactions that is coming on day to day, it doesn't belong to him. Very, very difficult, we might say, but if you just dwell into this, it is the most difficult job. But if a cashier starts thinking every day the transaction coming to the bank, it belongs to him, please understand how most disturbed person he might be. That's why he says Krishna is telling us that Nirasha Nirmamo Bhutva, we need to actually give up the claims of proprietorship, desires for profit. And if you say the cashier that $9 million, $10 million which is collected in the bank doesn't belong to you, it is not that the cashier says, oh, it doesn't belong to me, I'm not going to come to work. He cannot become, lethargy. He cannot become, he cannot be lazy. He cannot say, since the amount doesn't belong to me, I'm not going to work. He has to come to work. What he wants is the salary what he draws, not the amount that comes to the bank. So Krishna says, when instead of becoming dejected that things doesn't belong to me, we should actually give up that laziness, become free from lethargy and fight. So Lord instructs that one has to become fully Krishna conscious. Prabhupada is explaining here. As if in a military discipline, the more you sweat in peace, the less you bleed in war. That we discussed last time. Such an injection may make things a little difficult, because if the army person is told to actually practice every day, he will say that I don't see any enemy, I don't see any opposition coming, why should I practice every day? But if you sweat in peace, when the no opposition is there, the less you bleed in war. When actually the opposition comes in front of you, you would be able to work, you would be able to fight. For example, a few people won Olympic medals. It is not that accidentally they went and they actually performed and they got the medal. Behind this winning, there is lots and lots and lots of work that has taken place. Most of them getting up early in the morning, traveling in bus to go to the stadium. It may take 2 hours in the morning. They have put lots of sacrifices. That sacrifices has paid off. Hence, in Krishna consciousness as well, we cannot say, let me look when I grow old and at the dying moment I will think about practicing Krishna consciousness. That is not going to happen. Just like a person cannot win Olympic medal without practicing. Similarly, without practicing Krishna consciousness, now there is no hope that we will be able to be victorious when we are on the deathbed. Hence, it is very, very important. Mai sarvani karmani. We need to actually yat karoshi yadashnasi yat juhoshi dadasi yat. Everything what we do, yat tapashyasi kaunteya mat kuru tat kuru madharpanam. Please do it as a sacrifice to me. Surrender your results. Connect to me day-to-day basis. That is our practice today. The more we sweat in peace. What does the peace means? We have a youthful body today. I am speaking today in a greater voice. In another 30 years time, you may not expect me in the same, energy level. I may not have. So today, whatever the energy I have, I'm trying to dedicate it as best as possible in the circumstances, whatever I am in. That is most important. Tat Kuru Madarpanam. So we discussed about it. So if we, what is the point in sweating in peace? Please note, connecting Krishna on day-to-day basis every day, Krishna is not the winner here. We are the winners. Krishna is an independent enjoyer. We are the dependent enjoyers. For example, if a Bill Gates starts a mall in Mysore, does Bill Gates care about what is the profit and loss through a mall? But an employer who is employed in a mall, if he actually doesn't take care of the wealth that is actually getting created in the mall, if he doesn't work seriously, then the business may collapse. Who is going to lose? Bill Gates? I don't think so. For him, this is not, it doesn't make any more business sense of losing. It's not going to be end of his life. What is end of life? It is end of life for us if we stop working. Hence, just like a mall, profit or loss of a mall doesn't really affect the Bill Gates. Similarly, this profit and loss of the universal world really doesn't affect Krishna. He's an independent enjoyer. We are the dependent enjoyers. If we connect to Krishna on every day basis, we are going to get benefited. Just like if you are beautifying yourself and if you are standing in front of the mirror, to the degree you beautify yourself, mirror is going to reciprocate with you. Similarly, if we beautify our life connecting to Krishna, Krishna is going to mirrorize our beauty. He is going to reciprocate. We discussed about it. A shop owner may accidentally get, the Prime Minister entering into the shop. The shop owner may actually invite him, respect him, serve him nicely, and he might give more attention to him than other customers in the shop. So who is going to get benefited by Prime Minister attending, going to a shop? The shop owner, not the Prime Minister. Similarly, we by serving Krishna, we are the people who are going to get benefited the most by following the instructions of him. The next verse. Ye me matamidam nityam anutishtanti manavah shaddavanto anusuyanto muchyante papi karma bihi. So Lord Krishna in the 31st verse of 3rd chapter ఏమే మతమిదం నిత్యం అనుతిష్టంతి మానవః శ్రద్ధవంతో అనుసూయంతో ముచ్యంతే అపి కర్మభిః. ఏమే మతమిదం. Matam means my opinion. Whatever I have spoken till now, this is my opinion. Eme matam idam nityam. Nityam means every day, every second, every minute, every hour. Anutishtanti, one who practices the instructions which we are given, the principles which are given. Manavaha, it addresses to all of us. Shraddhavanto, with faith. Anusuyanto, without envy. Muchyante api karmabhihi, whatever the work we are engaged in, we will not only be successful in our work, but we will also be liberated from the reactions of performing that work. This is a win-win situation by following the instructions of Krishna given in Bhagavad Gita. Eme matamidam nityam anutishtanti manavaha shraddhavanto anusuyanto muchyante api karmabhihi. So, my injection, very, very important. Eme matamidam. So in this world, if you look into, every person in this world is working. On day-to-day basis, each and every person is performing certain work. We follow local government laws. If you are in Karnataka, I am following the laws that is actually, followed within Karnataka or within India. There are Indian laws, there are American laws, there are Britain laws. Every country has certain laws that expected the citizens should follow. Also, there are universal government laws. Very important to understand. I am meant to follow the local government laws. I am meant to follow the universal government laws also. There are two opinions here whom to follow. People might ask. People may think, I have been working so honestly in this world. I am earning money. I am paying my taxes to the government. Government is recognizing me. They are awarding me. They are respecting me. Is it not the success of human life? What is this another universal government laws that I am expected to follow? When Lord Krishna says, Yeme matamidam nityam anutishtanti manavaha, which law he is talking about? I am already following the government laws. One may say, let us understand. So let us take an example that you are working, you are a most successful person today. Many people own different kinds of cars. A richest person in the world might be owning all kinds of posh cars. If he is going in a BMW car, in India you have to go in the left side. And if he breaks the law and he starts going the right side and he meets with an accident and he kills people, he cannot say that I am the most richest person in the world. I should be allowed to go home. There is no law in this world that actually binds me because I am successful. If he says that, he is the most foolish person in the world. He may be driving a BMW car, unlike another person who is driving a Maruti 800, but that doesn't mean that he is not bound by the laws of the land. He is bound by the laws of the land. Similarly, I might be following the laws of the land. Government may reward us. I might be most successful in this world. People may crave for us. World may respect us. That doesn't mean I am most successful person. Being most richest, powerful, may be highly recognized in this world, rewarded. That doesn't mean that I have been successful, that the universal government may not punish me. Even I may be a most successful person in this world, government might have recognized me, respected me, rewarded me, but still I might get punished under the hands of the universal government. Don't think just that I have been famous and I have been respected in the in the local government, my human life is successful. Absolutely not. There are certain restrictions which are there in the universal government which are not there in the local government. You can kill any animal, get away in this world. Can you get away in the eyes of the universal government? Absolutely not. There are certain actions which you do on day-to-day basis. You might get away from the eyes of the laws of the land. But eyes of the laws of the universal government is always open. By getting away from laws of the land doesn't mean that we have got away from the laws of the universal government. So being just successful in this world doesn't mean that we have successfully completed our human life. Our goal of human life is done. Absolutely not. This success has absolutely no significance in the eyes of the universal government. Then which laws I need to follow? Very, very important question we should ask. So, by following the laws of the land doesn't mean that you are following the laws of the universal world. By following the laws of the universal world, you can adapt to the laws of the local government. So the first doesn't mean the second you are satisfying. By following the second, which is following the laws of the universal government, you will become a most respected citizen in this world. Because the laws of the local government is an insignificant subset of laws of the universal government. Let me repeat, the laws of the local governments are insignificantly subset of the laws of the universal government. The laws of the local government may not adapt to the laws of the universal government. It might look very, very restrictive. Hence, it gives independence to the people to decide what they want to do by keeping only fewer laws that is being extracted from the universal laws and it being made as the laws of the government. But that doesn't mean that all the laws of the universal government are being followed in the local government. What is universal government? Universal government is the laws which laid out by Lord Krishna. Eme matamidam nityam anutishtanti manavaha. When Lord Krishna says, this is my opinion, Shraddhavanto anusuyanto, with faith and without envy, if you follow, muchyante sarvakilbishahe, you will be the most successful. When Lord Krishna says, that is universal laws and orders. Yeah? So I can be recognized, rewarded by the local government, but still I can be punished by the universal government. An intelligent person starts thinking, should I be just satisfied with the laws of the the local government? Oh, I am the honest person, don't do any trouble to anyone. Lead a respectful life, that is the end of human life. That is what the goal of human life. No, absolutely not. What the laws laid out by local government is an insignificant portion of laws of the universal government. You will still be punished. Now, he says, who has seen what is going to happen in future? Am I going to see what I am going to get punished? That is foolishness to say. This world is like a cage, prison we are living in. But living in the prison, if I say that I don't know about the government, but that doesn't mean that the laws of the government are acting on us. We are in the prison because of the laws of the government. If I say I don't know the government, I don't believe in the government, who cares about your belief? You are already in jail. You are already getting punished day and night. If you say I don't care about the government, I don't worry about the laws of the government, who cares? You are already in the jail. You are getting punished. So the world we are living in is like Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam. Lord Krishna is only created this world. This is for our rehabilitation and reformation. If we do not learn from this also, Lord Krishna will put us in another toughest world to live in. You might be in Mysore today. Tomorrow you might be under the hands of Taliban. Do you like to be in? If you don't like to be in, utilize your freedom today in Mysore with most intelligence. Do not become just, oh nice, so Mysore is so beautiful city, let me enjoy. You cannot get into that kind of a mood set. We need to come out of our, lethargy. Just remember, we have an option in the next life to take birth in those toughest countries where we'll be chopped. Do we want to exercise that? An intelligent person says, let me utilize the better facility I have been given nicely today so that I can actually design my future well. If I say I don't care who has seen the next life, then I will be the most foolish person like the prisoner. If the prisoner says I don't care about the government, you stay back in the prison and get punished every day. If you enjoy, that is your karma. If you think that I am so enjoying in the prison, you are the most foolish person in the world because you have not seen the life out. If you see the life out, you will understand what is life in the prison. We have not experienced bliss of Krishna consciousness, bliss of staying in the spiritual world. Hence, we are getting rotten in this material world, thinking that this is the best place to live. Very, very important. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, Prabhu.
So, you believe or not believe, the universal laws works on most richest person in the world down to the poorest person in the world. Everyone are under the hands of the universal laws. You might get away from the local government laws, you might be protected, but universal laws are not going to protect us. Hence, it is very, very important that I don't know Bhagavad Gita doesn't mean that, just like I didn't know that how to, I need to stop when the red light comes. If you are owning a car, means you need to know the traffic rules. Similarly, having this body means we need to understand the universal laws. We are supposed to understand the universal laws, and we need to read Bhagavad Gita. Just saying I didn't know this, police is not going to get away. He says that you pay the fine. Sir, I didn't know the red light, I need to stop. Who cares? You are the owner of this car, pay the fine. If you hit someone, not following the red line, then you have to go to the jail. Similarly, having this human body means we need to understand there are universal laws. We need to search for it. Where these universal laws are given, universal laws are given in Bhagavad Gita. When we actually strive for, looking out, you will find it. If you don't look for it and say that I didn't know, universal government is not going to, discount us. So I don't believe in the universal government laws. The prisoner yet get punished. The next verse Lord Krishna says, Yetvaetat abhya anusuyanto nanutishtanti me matam sarvagnana vimudastan vidinashtan achetasah. But those who out of envy disregard these teachings and do not follow them regularly are to be considered bereft of all knowledge, befooled, and they are ruining their endeavors for perfections. Lord Krishna clearly says, if you do not follow the injunctions of the universal laws, you don't think that you will be discounted by not giving your ears to it. That is not a reason to get away. That is not a justification to get away. Having got the human body, you are supposed to know these universal laws. So Prabhupada is also saying, as there is a punishment for the disobedience to the orders of the Supreme Executive Head, so there is certainly punishment for the disobedience of the order of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. If you take 1 cent from somebody else without doing something good to him, or without exchanging something, then you are a debtor and you have to pay him with interest and compound interest. That is the law of karma. So that's what Prabhupada is seriously telling all of us. So now, people might think, till today I thought recognition in this world actually defines what is success of life. Recognitions what I had in this world, that I was recognized in the government for whatever I did, that actually I thought the success of human life. But today Lord Krishna is telling, if those recognition cannot protect me, whose law and order I should follow? That's what Lord Krishna is saying. Ye me matamidam nityam anutishtanti manavaha. We need to follow the laws of the universal government. Very, very important. So what are the laws of universal government? Lord Krishna is only given a trailer till today, till third chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Lord Krishna more elaborately tells us the principles of life we need to follow. Till now he has said, Yagnata karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha. He is saying, you have to perform your duty as a sacrifice. But how we have to perform the duty as a sacrifice? Lord Krishna elaborates in 9th chapter. Yat karoshi yadashtasi yat juhoshi dadasi yat tapashyasi kaunteya tat kuru madarpanam. Whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, whatever austerity you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me. How can you practice that? We can practice only when we connect to Krishna. How can we connect to Krishna? Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha drudapratah namantas mam bhaktya nitya yukta upasate. Always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down before me. These great souls perpetually worship me with devotion. Very, very important. Obedience is the beginning of love. You cannot just say, I love Krishna. You cannot say, I love you, mother, and you hit your sister. Left, right, and center. We need to love. The price of this world is determined by the intensity of the love this world has. I will again repeat, the price of this world is determined by the intensity of love this world has. If this world is distributing love, then the land has a price. If I tell you today that, I'm going to give you a 1 acre of a posh land in Afghanistan, Kabul, and please, my dear, I'm going to reward you. So I'm going to give you a first class ticket. Would you like to accept it? Who is going to value that 1 acre of land in, what is that place? Kabul. It is valueless today. Why? That land has become a peak center of hatred. The value of the land has become, absolutely has no price now. Valueless. Why? A world where the hatred is being followed, that world ends in no time. It may have been costing millions of dollars earlier, but when the hatred comes, that same $1 million land becomes not even a few dollars. So what actually values the world? The world is valued in terms of when the people start following the universal laws and orders. Today, the Taliban says that this is my law and order, follow it. I don't think people would be discounted from the universal laws. Universal laws is much, paradigm shift compared to the laws which are laid out by the Taliban. Please understand this carefully. You need to respect the laws of the land. I am not saying don't respect the laws of the land, but don't discount that this is all in all. You have the universal laws and orders. Hence, Krishna says, Man manabhava madbhakto madhyajimam namaskuru mama aishyasi satyante pratijani priyosi me. Always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, offer your homage unto me. Thus you will come to me without fail. I promise you this, because you are my dear devotee. Lord Krishna only teaches love. He never teaches hatred. The most powerful person in the world, the creator of this entire world, he is giving the instruction what need to be followed. How much respect with which we need to accept that instructions and implement it in our life. Very, very important. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Lord Krishna says, abandon all varieties of. You might be discounted by the laws of the land, but doesn't mean that you will be discounted from the universal laws. Hence, Indian laws, US laws, American laws, African laws, all those laws and orders, this is only a temporary solution. We need to understand the universal laws. So it is very, very important. Doesn't matter who you are. It is very important. You need to follow seriously. You may be an army soldier. That doesn't discount you, but not thinking about Krishna. There are so many people, soldiers in our borders, who are following Krishna consciousness. We have team of devotees who stay near the border and train the soldiers to become like Arjuna. There are doctors who are the COVID warriors who are fighting today. They can too think about Krishna. So Krishna, thinking about Krishna is not restricted by your color of the skin, the nation you belong to, male or female, nothing actually stops you from. Whether you are rich or poor, nothing stops from. Hence, everyone can follow Krishna consciousness. Very, very important. Eme matamidam nityam anutishtanti manavaha shraddhayanto anasuyanto muchyante api karmabhihi. This is the secret of the universal principles. When we love God, we will love all the human beings. Just like when you love your mother, you will love all the children that mother has given birth to. If you do not love your mother, then obviously her belongings you are not going to respect to. Since important is love Krishna and love all the human beings and all the creatures in this world, and lead a happy, holy, healthy life. Thank you. Hare Krishna.